Hi, it's Yasaf, and welcome to this video about linked and lookup columns in Stackby. Essentially, linked and lookup columns allows us to store and save and arrange information in our database in a highly efficient way. Now, I know that if you are new to databases in online databases specifically, this may sound a little bit overwhelming, but don't worry because this video is really structured step by step with tons of graphics, information, and walkthrough tutorials. So all you have to do is just follow my lead, and you will be able to complete it in a breeze. And it will be worth your time because if at some point you will need to expand beyond the pre-made templates of Stackby, then you will know exactly how to structure the information in your database so it will be easier for you to scale up, to maintain, and to update on an ongoing basis. Let's get started.
So text columns really are the easiest ones to implement, and we've seen this before. They do not require special planning or pre-planning in order to implement them. We simply add a new column and we choose short text as the column type, and then it's super easy to just start adding and entering information to the database. However, short text columns are subject to inconsistent data because of possible typos, abbreviations, user not paying attention, and just for example, they may write orange instead of Orange Inc. or Acma instead of Acma Company, and so on and so forth. So text columns, because they're subject to typos and inconsistent data, makes it more difficult to filter and sort data. They require much more manual work with ongoing updates, because if you want to change a value, if we want to change a value, let's say a company name, then we need to do this in multiple rows. We need to search, find, filter all the possible rows in the table, and then we need to manually update, which of course makes it very difficult to update data in a bulk. So what are linked columns? Let's say that we have certain information that we would like to store in our database, and this information is company name. Now, company name can be associated with contact, with deal, and with task, for example. So a contact is a part of a company, and a deal can be related to a company. And so if we manage project, also a task can be related to a company. So instead of creating a text column in each one of the contacts, deals, or task tables, what we actually do is we only have one table with the name of companies, and that table stores the company name and the company information. Now, we simply create links between the company name and from the company's table to the other different tables, contacts, deals, and tasks. Essentially, we simply create pointers. Okay, so we use a pointer from the contacts, deals, or tasks table that points to the company name column in the columns table in our database. So linked columns require pre-planning, but after this video, that won't be too much of a problem for you to understand and pre-plan the layout and structure of such columns. Linked columns allows us to have consistent data in all areas of our database, which makes it super easy to report, sort, and filter the data. Okay, because essentially we store the data only once, and then we just point to it. We mimic, we copy the source to all the other areas in a database. It's super easy to update data in a bulk and in ongoing basis, because we only have to update the source record, the company name in this example, and it will automatically be updated to all other tables and columns that are linked to the source information. So how does this look like really? As you can see right now in the screenshot, the company name is no longer a short text column, but a linked column. You can see this by the icon here to the left hand side of the company name. And also by the way that the company name in each row is listed. You can think of a linked column similarly to a single or multiple selection, but instead of having a fixed list of values, linked columns are actually dynamic and constantly updated from the parent table. So if, let's say tomorrow morning, I will add a new company to the companies list in the database, it will automatically be available for me to choose from when I want to select that company in the contacts or deals or tasks table. And the process is similar. All I have to do is go to the specific column, edit it, double click with the mouse in order to edit it, and then choose the company name. And we will see this in just a few seconds. Now the bonus is that once we have a linked column, for example, the company name, we can use lookup columns, just like you see here with the website, for example. So we can use lookup columns to bring additional information from the parent table to the linked table. So for example, every time that I will select a company from the company table here in the linked column, the lookup column website, and you can see that this is a lookup, the lookup column website will be automatically populated with the company website. This is super useful for us if we want to store a large amount of information in a central location, and then just make it visible in subtables or in specific areas of the database without entering it over and over and over again. So let's see how to actually set up linked and lookup columns using Stackby. So we have our mini CRM, small business CRM open. And let's say that for the purpose of our example, I want to add one more table, and I want to give it a name payments. Let's just say I want to track payments, right? So let's give this payment reference. Okay, this will be the name of the payment. Let's say it can be equivalent to a purchase order or an invoice or whatever. Okay, then as you can see, I don't delete the columns. I simply change the type of the default columns that come with the table. Okay, let's give this amount. We'll name this to amount. Then instead of attachments, we'll just take this as a date, and we'll write here due, okay, with the date format, and status. This is all pretty simple. We've seen this before. So let's say paid and unpaid. Unpaid. We'll give this color red, and this will be green, so it will be easier to visualize. So now it's easy for us to visualize what the status of a payment is. We can switch between paid and unpaid. So now I want to make each payment related or linked to a certain company. So instead of creating a short text column and manually entering the information, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new column, and it's going to be a linked to another row. Okay, and I'm going to say that the name is company. That's the name of the column in this table, and it's going to be linked to the companies table. You see, I have all the other tables here. I'm going to choose the companies, and now I'm going to click on, before I'm going to click on apply, you have the option to allow linking multiple records. Basically, what it means is that I will be able to choose more than one company, okay, for payment. Now, for payments, that doesn't really make sense, but let's see how it behaves, just so you will have the reference. So for now, I'm going to allow multiple records. So I'm going to click on apply. And as you can see, now the column is company, but when I click on the column, I have the option to click on the plus sign, and then I can choose company, okay, from the companies table. Now, because I said that it's okay to have multiple linking applied, I can choose more than one company and click save. Okay, so now this specific payment, let's say PO1234 with the amount of $1,000, and let's say it's due on July 30th, 2021, it's linked to two different companies. Okay, now for payments that may not be necessarily true, so I'm going to change the column property, and I'm going to remove the allow linking multiple records from the list. Now keep in mind that Stackby will not automatically change the column, so you're going to have to go here and just remove one of the companies. Okay, but it will not allow you to add more than one company in next time that you would like to update the record. Now, payment is linked to Akamai company. Okay, if I will go to the companies table, you will now see that I have a new column called payments. This column added automatically by Stackby, and it links the information to the payments table by adding the link table automatically here. So this creates the pointer. The pointers are basically works both ways. Okay, but the difference is that if I will now go to the payments table, and now I will write additional payment reference. Let's say PO 2345 for the amount of $1,500. Let's say that it will be due on August 26th, and again I will choose the same company, right? If I will now go to the companies table, you will see two payments, okay, that are related to this company. So while the payments table can only have a one-to-one connection to each and every companies, the companies table can hold links to many payment requests. Okay, so it will be one-to-many from the companies end and one-to-one from the payments end. Now you don't have to worry about it. I just want you to see what Stackby is doing for you by creating the pointers and the relationships behind the scenes. Okay, so you don't have to do it by yourself, but you do need to be aware that once you set this column, it will be added to different tables, so you don't accidentally delete them. Okay, so now let's say that I also want to go to the companies table and I want to bring the industry information, okay, the industry information from the companies to the payments. Let's say that 6 months from now I would like to create a report about the different segments, okay, where the money comes from and the different segments that actually pay me money. Okay, so because I have the segment already related to the company name and the companies table, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to add one more column. This time it will be a lookup column. Okay, and then because we already we created a link between the payments and the companies, and I can choose the company, okay, from the list of available tables to choose from, and the column will be industry. So once again, first I created a linked column that links the payments table to the companies table, and now I'm creating a lookup column based on the link column that I previously created. Okay, so I'm going to call this industry. Right, and then I'm going to click apply. So as you can see, the industry is automatically retrieved from the companies table, okay, and added to the payments table here. Now if I go to the companies table and let's say that I want to switch, and now this company no longer does software, but let's say it does textile, right? So I changed. Now if I go to the payments table, you can see that the industry has changed automatically. Remember, we talked about bulk update. I don't have to go and I don't have to follow each row one by one in order to update the information. Once the information is linked at the parent table, it gets updated in all the linked and related rows in the subtables.
Hey, it's Yasaf. So in this video, you'll learn what linked and lookup columns are in Stackby and how to effectively use them. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in a comment. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so I can notify you every time I upload a new video to this course or to my channel.